Yes. Alrighty, what's up everybody? It is I, your Tribal God of Extreme, Peter Joseph here, for a Monday afternoon video, right here, on the Peter Joseph YouTube Wrestling channel, youtube.com/Peter Joseph. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you like the video, hit the subscribe button down in my pants, otherwise known as the description box below. And you can watch any of my videos from the past, now, and in the future, Conan. You leave a comment on any one of them if you wish. Or all of them, be nice. But don't leave stupid comments, because you're going to get sent to the Shadow Realm, beat severely, and then Ozzy and Satan will come out and laugh at you, and then eat your soul. So don't do it. Go somewhere else and do that. And if you can't do that, you need a life, and you need to get your ass kicked for that. But because you have no life. You're too obsessed. Get out of here. Go away. Do something with your life. Do something! Do something! But it is what it is. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Share the video all over the internet. Don't forget to tap and slap that bell. Turn on all notifications so you don't miss the next one. Because if you do, well, you're SOL. You know what that means. And I don't think I need to tell you what it means. Because you should know that by now. For almost 17 years, you should know. But I digress on that. Alright, so like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, and all that other good stuff. And if you're brand new here, well, welcome to the party, pal. We hope you enjoy the ride. Sit back, relax. Got the cold one. We got Gatorade today. Later, we'll have some soda. But right now, just chilling right now. But I do gotta go out to my therapist in a little bit. So, it's gonna make this short and sweet. So, sit back, relax, grab yourself your own tasty cold one, put your feet up and enjoy the show. If you like it, great. You don't, well, fuck you, man. That's pretty much it. Alright, on this overcast, Monday afternoon, May the 11th, 2026, got Monday Night Raw coming your way tonight from, somewhere. I don't know where, but it's gonna be a good night tonight, my friends. It's gonna be Roman Reigns Acknowledgement Night. And, he will make that piece of garbage, Jacob Fatu, Yamin. He's gonna make him acknowledge him tonight. And we're gonna acknowledge him as well. So, put up your ones in the comments, or whatever you're gonna be on social media. Put up your ones and acknowledge your World Heavyweight Champion, the greatest man next to Jesus that ever lived, and that's Roman fucking Reigns, our World Champion forever. And that's pretty much all I gotta say about that. So it's gonna be a great night on Raw, and we'll see what happens with that later on tonight. Let me move on with that. If I haven't said it already, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Hope you had a great day yesterday. And for some of you who work, all you mothers at work, you know, back to work for you. So, not sad. But it is what it is. But hope everybody's is having a great Monday. And if not, too bad for you. And that's that. I got a pretty decent day, and I'm gonna keep enjoying it. And then I'm gotta go out a little bit. I'm gonna come home, have the sensible lunch with the missus, and then get ready for Monday Night Raw. And that's pretty much it. Gonna have a good week. And as we are 2 weeks away from Memorial Day, the unofficial start of summer. Can't wait for that. Warmer temperatures this week. We're gonna get near 80 on Sunday. Then next week will probably be pretty seasonable, about in the 70s, which is great. And then hopefully by the time we hit Memorial Day weekend, we're gonna be hot, hot, hot. And we'll see what happens with that. And we move on. Alright, on your Monday afternoon, I'll be doing my TNA Ring of Honor review over on my Killer Demons channel in a little bit later, in a few hours, right before we get to Raw. But excuse me. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time on your Monday afternoon, May the 11th, 2026. It is time for your late, really late, so far out of fucking date WWE NXT review. for pretty much last Tuesday, May the 5th, or Cinco de Mayo, or Stinko de Mayo, May 5th, 2026. We are emanating, as always, from the parking lot at Nickelodeon Studios inside the Capitol Wrestling Center in Orlando, Florida. Alright, we're not really gearing up for anything. We're just moving right along with NXT. Pretty much week 2 of the WWE Evolve and WWE ID kind of takeover. All the newbies are coming around. And, my cousin, Tony D's got a lot of challengers. He's got Kiana Carter to worry about. A few other people to worry about. We'll talk about them a little bit. And, even the women's division's got, craziness going on with Lola Paisese and Izzy Dame and Kaylee Armstrong and so many other people. So, it's a madhouse. Great song, by the way, by Anthrax. But we move on with that. Alright, as always, our commentary team of the man who loves his candy, and he loves the kids too. That's the creepy man, Vic Joseph, and the two-time Hall of Famer, the man who loves the ladies. You know him, you love him, the Kool-Aid Man himself. The man who invented the spin-a-rooney, and that's... Oh yeah, Booker T, sucker! Oh yeah, man! Oh yeah, shucky ducky, quack quack. Whatever. We got that. Alright, let's get into it. Let's not waste any time, because I do gotta get out of here pretty soon. Alright, so we started with the opening recap from what happened last week, with all the chaos that happened. And then we start the show properly with my cousin, Tony D'Angelo's not here at the moment. He's taking care of some business, if you will. My cousin, my legit cousin, by the way, Tony D'Angelo, the NXT champion. I gotta go pick up some, he got me and the missus some dinner, and I gotta pick it up at the delicatessen, and I only have to pay $2! You will probably have to pay more than that. 3 times more than that, maybe. But I get it for $2 because this is my cuz. So, moving on. But my cuz says he isn't waiting. He's not going to be waiting for anybody. And he sees Tavion Heights, who attacked him last week. Goes right at him. Beats the crap out of him. And then all the other NXT people have to break it up. So we're starting off, once again, crazy and wild. We got a wild night of action on NXT once again. That's that. So I get that 2.5 out of 5 stars. Alright, now we go inside the Capitol Wrestling Center to the ring with our first match of the evening. And it's the ladies, and we got 2 hot ladies going at it. We got Jada Parker! Miss Parker on my dick. Jey Uso's dick now, but I digress. Well, she takes on former Evolve Women's Champion, Kaylee Armstrong, or Callie Armstrong, whatever you want to call it. And pretty good match for, well, not a great match, but just under 10 minutes. They go back and forth. We go to break, we come back. Kaylee Armstrong sends Jada into the corner, and then stops to do some push-ups. Okay, you ain't Scott Steiner. We don't need to stop for push-ups. You think about that, Scott? She's fat! Nah, she's not that fat. No, I don't care. She's that son of a bitch is fucking fat. Now I'll make her bleed. Okay, calm down, Scott. Can you, somebody get him a Snickers, please? Thank you. Scott, eat your Snickers and be nice next time, okay? Good. He's fat! Stop it! Anyway, moving on. So Kaylee drives in some knees, flies off shoulders in the corner, and then mocks the high step of Jada Parker, which wakes Jada up. She hits the teardrop in the corner, and then Kaylee snaps off that wicked power slam of hers. She hits, Jada hits the teardrop in the corner, and then she tried to build some momentum, and then Kaylee hit the power slam, cut off her momentum, then hits the running Pounce! The Kaylee connection. 1, 2, 3. Like I said, in just under 10 minutes, Kaylee Armstrong gets the win. She is still undefeated on NXT. And we'll see where she goes and a possible date with Yoda Vice if she keeps the NXT World Women's title. But we'll see what happens with that. A lot of challengers. Kendall Gray, Izzy, and now you got Kaylee Armstrong. And maybe Zaria. I almost said Daria. Daria somebody else. Daria, cha-cha-cha. No. We got that. Alright, so I gave that 2.5 out of 5 stars, and that's it. Alright, then my cousin goes into, no, he's in the back. Talks to that idiot GM of ours, Robert Stone, and says, I want Tavion. Now. Well, tonight, but you want some now. Sure. You got it, Tony D. You make the match there, Robert Stone, or you're going to get thrown into the sewer. You're going to be swimming with the other rats. Don't mess with the Mafia. Don't mess with the Prophecy either, fuckers. Because that's where you end up. I digress on that. Alright, 2.5 out of 5 stars for that. Alright, then we get a video on the feud between Jackson, Drake of the Vanity Project, and the Pasta, my good buddy Jasper Troy. Got that match coming up a little bit. Alright, after that, we're in the back with Birthmark. We got Channing Stacks, Lorenzo, his hot wife, Ariana Grace, the former TNA Knockouts champion, which I'll talk about on my TNA review. We got the Speed champion, Lexis King, and we have Araya Connors. They're there. So they're not happy with what happened last week. And then Fitz Finlay, the man who loves to fight. He comes in because that's Araya Connors' uncle. Or dad, something like that. Anyway, so he comes in and says, you know, you guys are not doing so well. Then he gets on the phone with Regal! Regal! You know, William Regal says that he sent his son, Charlie Dempsey, back to the snake pit. No, not to have fun with Jake Roberts or anything like that. He's back in England to get some seasoning. And then next week, tomorrow, we have a 6-man tag team match with, I don't know who. Alright. Team seems ready for that, so it's going to be, I assume it's going to be Stacks, Araya Connors, and Lexis King, or they bring in Charlie Dempsey back for a 6-man tag against I don't know who. And I don't care. But we move on with that. Alright, so 2.5 out of 5 stars for that. Then we're going to look at the debut last week of Evil. The former IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, leader of the House of Torture. Well, he's not evil anymore because his name is Naraku. Naraku, and he's going to debut next week in the ring. But he says last week was a proclamation to Tony D, and they're going to battle it out for the NXT title. When? Don't know. Maybe at Great American Bash. We'll see. But nice little video for Evil. Oh, sorry, Naraku. Not Naruto. Naraku. Which he got trademarked, so we got that. Alright, moving on. Alright, really quickly, ladies and gentlemen. Jasper Troy takes on Jackson Drake with the Vanity Project, Brad Baylor, and Ricky Smokes at ringside. Pretty match. Micah Lockwood, or Bailey Humphries from LFG, she makes her NXT debut in the ring, outside the ring. She picked up Jasper Troy like he was nothing, slammed him on the floor, throws him back in. Drake goes up top, hits a 450, 1, 2, 3, what? So, yeah, Jackson Drake pins Pastor Troy. I did not like it, but it is what it is, and that's that. Alright, then we're going to look back at another debut last week. My boy Tristan Angels, who follows me on Twitter, thank you very much. He talks about being better than a bunch of people, everybody on the roster, pretty much. That's that. we're going to see more from him, hopefully, this week. And that's pretty much it. His real name is Nathan, if you watched LFG this week. Well, it was last week, I think it was. Not this week, last week. We whooped someone, well, he lost to, I forget who, but this is before it became Kristen Angels, mind you. So, we got that. Alright, then we get a Rhea Ripley, Mommy! NXT Origins video, very nicely done. Probably get more this week. And then Delta comes out for a little chitty chat, says, it feels different around here, because I don't have Soul Rooker around here, I got nobody to, I don't need anybody holding me back in the women's division. I have a clear path to the NXT North American title, meaning Tatum Paxley. And basically that's the title that woke her up. And then, speaking of Tatum Paxley, she comes out, knows how the title came between her and Soul Rooker, but it has nothing to do with her. And then the resident metal chick, Lizzie Rain, she comes out, says, I'm the talk of the town last week, in a pretty decent debut against Nikita Lyons. It's time to add some heavy metal to the title. Okay. Speaking of Nikita Lyons, she comes out, takes credit for basically giving Lizzie Rain the Nikita Lyons rub. Not like that. And Tatum says, I'm going to fight everyone, and then a big brawl ensues, and Delta, being the big woman, stands tall. So, yeah. Why can't we just get a triple threat match to see who becomes the number one contender? No, we got a tag team match next week with Tatum Paxley and Lizzie Rain taking on Nikita Lyons and Delta. Delta's like, I don't want to do this. Robbie Eaton tells her later, you better do it or you don't get no title match. I guess she's gonna do it. And we get that. Alright, then we're in, like, a little bit catering somewhere in the back. The Vanity Project meet another newbie to NXT, and that's Evolve's resident painter, Romeo Moreno. Ese pero. He's from Spain. Not impressed with them. Not impressed, Skywalker. Not impressed. And then, returning star, Noam Dar, the former two-time NXT Heritage Cup champion, he comes back, wants to fight Jackson Drake next week, so we're getting that. Great to see Noam Dar back. And then Bailey Humphries comes in, scares Noam Dar a little bit, but the match is already set. And then the Vanity Project leave, and then Romeo Moreno says, I'm a big fan of yours, Noam! Big fan! I was like, yeah, we're gonna get a tag team match, right? No, not yet. Damn it! So we'll see what happens tomorrow night with Noam Dar's return to NXT to face Jackson Drake. We got that. Alright, then we're in the back. We see Tony D, my cousin, got jumped by Anthony Luke, or Cam Hendricks. That's Maxine Dupree's husband, who we saw on LFG last night. Didn't do so good, Al. He's pretty much gonna get, well, now he's kind of, sort of on NXT, so it's not gone yet, but I'm feeling he's going to get released. But we'll see. Alright, after the break, Robbie E grabs a headset and says, Lola fights Mr. Iguana against the Culling next! Because it was supposed to be Tony D and Tavion, but thank you there, Cam Hendricks, you moron. But we move on. Alright, so we get to the mixed tag team match. Pretty good match. 11 and a half minutes exactly. Nico breaks up the count. Because Izzy, a spin kick to the head, knocked her silly by Lola. She goes for the cover. Nico broke up the count. Mr. Iguana and Lola grab stereo. Triangle chokes. That somehow got broken up easily. And then Izzy gets up, hits that running kick to face, knocked Lola for a loop. Knocked her the fuck out. 1, 2, 3. Izzy and Nico get the win over the mixed tag team champions. So you know what that means. They probably will get a title shot and lose. But good match. That's that. Alright, Tavion wants to fight Tony D. Robbie E comes in and says the match is going to be in the main event. He goes over to Delta, who like I mentioned, she wants the women's North American title. And then the tag match happens, and he says, if you don't participate in this tag match, you get no title shot. So we'll see. We got that. And then Jada Parker is in the women's locker room. She is mashed, throwing everything. And then Natalia or Natty comes in and says, hey Jada, you need to call now. And it seems like you got a little bit soft. And then that was it. I thought they were gonna fight. They didn't really fight. And that's it. Alright, move on with that. Alright, then we go back to the ring with a boring tag team match. Hank and Spank take on Dark State of Osiris Griffin and Cutler James. And Dark State get the win. Even though Saquon Sugars and Dion were there, you're still kind of, sort of, whatever they are. But get an assisted spinning powerbomb, finishes off Hank in 12 minutes exactly. So Dark State get the win, and I didn't give a fuck. It was a good match. I just didn't give a fuck. That's that. Alright. Mrs. Him, Kaylani Jordan, Mox Lola says, I'm coming for your belt too, don't forget. And then Kendall Gray comes in, kind of calms things down. Says, I'm coming after you, so... And then Kaylani's like, yeah, okay, whatever. Leaves. And that's that. Then we go to commentary, and we hear Big Joseph, but we don't hear Booker T. Booker's like, what's going on here? They're having technical issues on a live show. Oh boy. And then we see a production worker like, who's this guy? Trying to fix everything with Booker T. So then we go to a video of new correspondent Emily Agard, looking good. Talks to Kiana Carver on her first day on the job. He didn't want to talk to her, so they put the camera down, even though they still film. And Carver says, I paid my dues, and my comments don't help me take care of people counting on me. He told Robbie E to give him a chance or cut him, which they almost did, now he's back. Carver knows they're still filming, so Kiana's like, okay, you got me. And then Emmy's like, okay, you got us. Ask your question. So she asks her about the symbol of war that was given to Tony D last week. Keanu says, I played college football, didn't really go to class. Slacker. But the thing about me that y'all don't know is that I'm smart as shit for real. Okay, that's a little bit different that we don't know about Keanu. Okay, little backstory maybe, but yeah. We still don't understand what it means. How did you know about that? Maybe Eva was bringing them in, I don't know. So we get that. Then the audio on commentary is better. We get a Backlash rundown. And then Shiloh, my boy Shiloh Hill, walking around in the dark, I guess in the trailer park. He's happy about beating Ricky Starks last week. And he also finds my boy Tristan Angels to be a bit ridiculous and hopes he's allergic to sheep. Okay. I don't know. I don't know with Shiloh sometimes. He's weird. Well, I like it, but he's weird. Get that. Alright, then we get another rundown of next week's show. Then we get to the main event, non-title match, Tavion Heights and my cousin Tony D. Pretty good. Once again, Anthony Luke Cam Hendricks trying to get a distraction. Tavion beats him up, and then Miles Ozzy Osbourne, the North American champion, comes in, gives him a running flippy dippity doo on the other side of the ring. Referee's like, oh, I'll allow it. And then they brawl to the back, and then Tony D with the forget about it choke slam. 1, 2, 3. He beats Tavion Heights, even though that's not really the way he wanted to win. But still, a decent match for under 10.5 minutes. And that's that. After the match, Code of Honor. You rarely see that. But, they respect each other. I guess it's mutual respect. So, Code of Honor, you love to see that. And then, Mason Rook. Will Cruz from last week, the big fat guy. He runs in, lays out Tony D again. And then, they kind of cut off him introducing himself as Mason Rook. Fuck you, CW11. And basically he says, I have arrived. Yeah, you arrived and you're gonna get your ass kicked, boy. You fat fuck. That's all I gotta say about that. So, yeah, Will Cruz now known as Mason Rook. His dad was a pawn. No, I'm kidding. Where we get that? But still, pretty decent episode of NXT. I gave it a standard 7 out of 10 stars. Let me know what you guys thought of the show down below in the comment section. Like Trick Willie would say, let's talk about it. And that's that. Alright guys, I gotta get out of here. I gotta go to my therapist. I'll be back a little bit later, a couple hours or so, with your TNA Ring of Honor review over on my Kill with Demons channel. We'll talk about TNA Ring of Honor this week. We'll get to Raw tomorrow. We'll talk about AEW Dynamite. Both collisions this week, Fair to Hell as included. And then we'll get you back up and running for the rest of this week. What's going to happen and stuff like that. Because we don't have a pay-per-view. Well, actually, we do have a pay-per-view this week. Supercard of Honor Friday night. Going head-to-head with SmackDown. I'm going to watch the replay. I'll do predictions on Friday afternoon. But as for the review, will be on early Saturday. Because I am going out Saturday night. So I'm not going to be doing anything, pretty much. One video, and then I'm done, basically. So, we'll see. So I'm a very busy man. So, that's that. And then we're going to gear up for Double or Nothing. We're gearing up for Saturday's main event next Saturday night. And then we're gearing up for Clash in Paris. And then we got the Triple Op pay-per-view on May 30th. So the next 2 weekends, the end of this month are going to be crazy. So please hit that bell for all the predictions, all the reviews, all the news going into it, stuff like that. And if you missed it, you're SOL. You know what that means. And that's pretty much it. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Once again, 7 out of 10 stars for NXT. See what happens tomorrow night on the program. We got Raw tonight. The acknowledgement ceremony for Roman. Put up your ones. We're going to acknowledge Roman tonight. Jacob's going to do the same. If not, he's going to get his butt handed to him. That's pretty much all I got to say about that. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Until next time. Peace.